to the assembly, everyone. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. Our assembly is being held on the lands of the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. And I'd like to acknowledge them as traditional owners. I would also like to pay my respects to their elders past and present and Aboriginal elders of any other community who may be here today. Can we have all students, teachers and parents stand up for the national anthem, please? Wow! Sensational singing, everyone! Now here's Ava and Libby for the Kingfisher Students of the Week.
Thanks, Kieran and Ian. Unfortunately, Libby has gone home early, so it's just me for now. Great job to all the Kingfishers who've got an award. From Prep Bennett, great job to Blake. Another Kingfisher from Prep Bennett, great job to Summer. From Prep Heffernan, outstanding effort to Claire. From 2 Sanders, great job to Emma. From 4 Haywa, great job to Reese. And from 4 Over, great job to Ethan. Everyone did an amazing job. Now here's Austin and Tilly with the Rosella Awards.
Thanks, Ava.
I wonder which amazing Rosella students will get their awards.
From Prep Roselle, great job to Bentley. From 3 Edwards, amazing job to Sienna.
From 4 Sproul, congratulations to Jack. From 5 Kilfoyle, congratulations to Talia. And from 6 Gibsons, congratulations to Nixon.
Great job, Rosella.
Now here's Charlotte and Tali for the Lyrebird Students of the Week.
Thanks, Austin and Tilly. Me and Charlie, your Lyrebird house captains, are going to announce the awards. From 1 Gal, well done to Saskia. From 2 Ty, well done to Casey. And from 3 Gardner, well done to Dane. From 3 Arthurson, awesome work to Blake. Another one from 3 Arthurson, well done to Alicia. And lucky last from 5 Smith, awesome work to Zane. Congratulations to all these students, and now on to April and Nicole for the Honeyeater Students of the Week.
Thanks, Hallie and Charlotte. Wow, another great week has gone by so fast. Let's get into the awards. From 2 Stuart, congrats to Noriki. From 2 Stuart again, well done to Mitchell. From 4 Davis, congratulations to Tanisha.
From 4 over, congratulations to Alexa. And from 5 Micho, congratulations to Nicholas.
Well done, Honeyeaters. Now on to Vanch and Isla. Thank you, Nicole and April.
I wonder who got the awards this week.
For visual arts, we have 4 over.
A STEAM award, great job to grade 2 Hunt. Another STEAM award, great job to grade 1 O'Sullivan.
Congratulations to all those classes.
Back to Inian and Kira for the house points.
I wonder who'll win this week.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get started. In 4th place with 56 points is Honeyeater.
In 3rd place with 57 points is Rosella.
In 2nd place with 59 points is Lyrebird.
That means, drumroll please, the winner with 63 points is Kingfisher.
Now we'll hand you over to our art leaders, GT and Kang, for some special art awards.
Good afternoon, students, teachers, parents and carers. I am Kang and this is GT. We are 2 of your visual arts leaders and we have some very exciting news to announce. November of every year is Save the Koala Month. So many koalas were affected by the bushfires this year and need our help to survive.
During remote learning, Miss Woodbridge held a Save the Koala art competition. Students who win will receive a free entry to the Moonlit Sanctuary.
It was very hard to pick the winners as so many amazing artworks were sent through. Miss Woodbridge is very proud of how hard you all worked on them. And now for the winners.
In Year 3 Edwards, well done to Sienna T.
In Year 4 Sproul, well done to Charlie M.
In Year 5 Kilfoyle, well done to Pepper W.
And in Year 6 Brown, well done to Emma M. Congratulations. We hope you enjoy your day at the Moonlit Sanctuary.
See Miss Woodbridge to collect your free passes. Over to Oscar and Haley for the raffle. Off you.
Thanks, Kang and GT.
Hello, my name's Oscar.
And I'm Haley.
And we're your community captains.
Sadly, there has been no raffle tickets for 3 weeks.
That's a real shame.
Teachers, please remember to take the yard duty folders outside, which are found in the staff room pigeonholes.
Students, please remember to act and play nicely in the yard and make sure to include others.
Also, teachers, we have placed the Pride of Place maps in your pigeonholes and we will be selling Remembrance Day badges, poppies, pens and wristbands ranging from $1 to $5.
And we start in Tasty Tuesday on Tuesday. And make sure to come get them because it will be hot. I've heard it's about 28 degrees. So, now here's Mr. Peterson for his wise words of wisdom.
I need to hop down here. Look, it could be my wise words of wisdom, although I'm not sure however wise they ever are, but you guys have heard heaps from me recently, and there's something way more interesting than what I've got to say, and that's what these guys have been doing and what Mrs. Sierra has been doing with these guys. And I had a preview of their work that they entered into a competition the other day, and it is outstanding. I just want to ask them to join Miss Sierra as they explain what it is they've been up to and what it is that they've achieved. So thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great weekend. That's it from me.
So these are my young ICT Explorers, and I am so proud of them, and we wanted to share it with our community. So yesterday they presented to judges, industry experts, and they had to invent something that would solve a real life problem. Check this out. Girls, what problem have you tried to solve? How did you attempt to solve it? What technologies did you use?
We have tried to solve communication with like feelings and anxiety attacks and panic attacks for children with physical or mental disabilities or like communication skills.
So basically you were focusing on mindfulness and how to discover that you were probably not feeling, there are ways that your body reacts to not feeling at ease. So you've created something to help people learn how you might read your body.
So we've had to code a microbit and a pulse sensor, and here's the code in JavaScript, and we've broken it into 3 bits. So the first part of the code is just making sure that there's a 10-second warm-up with the microbit. The second part of the code is making sure there's a 1-second time slot between the accurate readings. And the third part of the code is basically just making sure that it repeats itself.
Do you want to demonstrate it?
Here is the microbit here and the readings up there. If I put my finger onto here, it should read my pulse, and it takes about a 10-second startup, but it is flashing. Press.
So the code
74. 74 is my pulse currently.
So when would you notice that perhaps your pulse is a bit too high? At what level would you consider it to be too high?
We would consider it to be a bit too high at about 100.
Okay. So if somebody found their...
60.
Okay. So if you found that your pulse was a little bit too high, what did you actually create to help people's to find a state of mindfulness?
So we've created 3 games, a game happy, sad and angry, that should help bring your
Mental state back to a calm state.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't bring those games, but you coded the whole games, and from start to finish, they had levels that you could work through. So one of them, how did you actually get to a calm state with one of the games? What did you actually have to do in one of the games?
So in angry, we thought that it would be a good idea to put popping the balloons and smashing the doors, because it's a safer way to let out your aggression and anger. And we also have mindful music playing in the background of the game.
Did you want to... Well, we'll probably leave it at that, but you did actually create a few different games to help create a mindful state. Awesome. Now, boys, you also created a pretty amazing invention, and the judges were blown away by you. Do you want to show us what you have done?
This is our project for the Young ICT Explorers. It's called the CO Alert Alert.
CO Alert Alert. What does CO stand for?
Carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide is a dangerous gas which can poison humans. In big cities, it can sometimes reach high levels. It is particularly deadly because you can't see, smell, or feel this gas. And we built this in Term 1, and right then we were inspired because in Term 1 we had our early summers bushfires, which were creating a lot of smoke, and we were breathing in the pollution. Most people did not know that there was carbon monoxide in them, and it was a big life threat. So we decided to make a CO detector, which has a CO sensor, a buzzer, an LED, and an LCD. And we decided to give the information in 3 different ways, because people have certain disabilities, such as people who can't hear but can see, can use the LED light to alert themselves. People who can't see but can hear can use the buzzer to alert themselves. And scientists who want to get a better understanding of the environment on how much carbon monoxide is in the air. And here we have a graph running, which Ryan will explain to you.
So the blue line detects how much carbon monoxide is in the air. It's not over the line or the buzzer isn't going off because it isn't a dangerous level. And according to
the World Health Organization, the actual warning limit is 700 to 800. We've put it at a low level because we are about to demonstrate to you with supervision. And Ryan will explain to you what we're going to do.
So we're going to light a match and light this incense that will put smoke and make the CO detector go off.
So when it goes above the green line, the LED light will go red and the buzzer will go off, and also on the LCD screen you'll see the readings going higher. And it changes its warning level according to how big the space is. So if it's a small space, it puts the warning level a bit lower, because just with a small space, as you can see, the warning the light is going off, and you heard the buzzer, and the LCD readings went higher.
And on the graph there is a spike and it's gone over the green line, so it makes the buzzer and the LED go up.
And this is our project. Thank you.
Very quickly, do you want to show the inside of your project?
Yes, this is the Arduino, what we used to make this project. On top of this we have attached a base shield, and there is a buzzer, an LCD, and the sensor connected to it. On this side we have the breadboard, which Ryan will explain to you.
The breadboard is connected to the LED, and this space shield is connected to the breadboard to give that power.
Guys, you were amazing this year, and with all the disruptions, you still pulled it off. I'm so impressed. Now we find out the results early December. So they're going to finish looking at all the different projects, and we find out how we go early December. We're looking forward to that.